From ancient manuscripts no one can read, to planes that vanished with hundreds of people on board, these 10 mysteries have baffled detectives, scientists, and investigators for decades. Some have been investigated by governments. Some have consumed entire careers. None have been solved. This is our countdown of the top 10 unsolved mysteries that will keep you up at night. Number 10. The Voynich Manuscript. In 1912, a book dealer named Wilfried Voynich purchased a 240-page illustrated manuscript from a Jesuit college in Italy. The book was written in an unknown script that no linguist, cryptographer, or computer algorithm has ever been able to decode. The illustrations show strange plants that don't exist, naked women in green pools, and astronomical diagrams unlike anything known to science. Carbon dating places the vellum at around 1404 to 1438. Over 600 years later, no one has the faintest idea what it says, or who wrote it. Number 9. The Tamam Shud case. In December 1948, an unidentified man was found dead on Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia. He had no identification on him whatsoever. Hidden inside a secret pocket in his trousers was a tiny rolled-up piece of paper torn from a rare edition of a Persian poetry book. It read, "Tamam Shud," meaning it is ended. The man's identity was never established. The cause of death was never confirmed. The only copy of the book the page came from was found nearby, containing an uncracked cipher and an unlisted phone number. The woman that number belonged to denied knowing the man. 75 years later, no one knows who he was. Number 8. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. In January 1959, 9 experienced Soviet hikers set off into the Ural Mountains of Russia. They never came back. When rescuers found the camp 6 weeks later, the tent had been slashed open from the inside. The hikers had fled barefoot into -30-degree temperatures. Some were found with broken ribs and fractured skulls but no external wounds. One woman was missing her tongue. Soviet investigators officially closed the case by ruling the deaths were caused by an unknown compelling force. The Russian government reopened the investigation in 2019 and closed it again, unsatisfied. No explanation has ever been accepted. Number 7. The Sodder Children. On Christmas Eve 1945, a fire destroyed the Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia. George and Jenny Sodder escaped with 4 of their 10 children. The other 5, ages 5 to 14, were never seen again. No remains were found in the ashes. The fire ladder had been moved. The phone line had been cut before the fire started. In 1967, a photo of a young man was mailed to the family with a note reading, "Louis Sodder. I love brother Frankie. Illil boys." The postmark was from Kentucky. The family hired a private detective who was never heard from again. Jenny Sodder kept a billboard on the highway asking for information until she died in 1989. Number 6. The Black Dahlia. On January 15, 1947, the body of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short was found in a vacant lot in Los Angeles. Her body had been surgically cut in half at the waist and completely drained of blood. Her face had been slashed from the corners of her mouth toward her ears, creating a Glasgow smile. The killer had cleaned the body before displaying it with theatrical precision. The case became one of the most sensational murders in American history. Over 150 people confessed to the crime. The Lapt investigated for decades. The case remains officially unsolved. Elizabeth Short's killer was never identified. Number 5. The Beaumont Children. On Australia Day 1966, 3 children left their home in Glenelg, South Australia for a trip to the beach. Jane was 9. Anna was 7. Grant was 4. They never came home. Witnesses reported seeing them with a tall, blond man at the beach. The children were last seen buying meat pies from a shop, using money that hadn't come from their parents. Australia's most intensive missing persons investigation found nothing. No bodies were ever recovered. No charges were ever filed. Their parents waited by the phone for the rest of their lives. To this day, the disappearance of the Beaumont children remains Australia's most haunting unsolved case. Number 4. The Boy in the Box. In February 1957, the body of a young boy, estimated to be between 4 and 6 years old, was found inside a cardboard box near a Philadelphia road. He had been recently bathed. His hair had been freshly cut. He was wearing clean pajamas. Nobody reported him missing. Nobody came forward to identify him. His photo was distributed to every household in Philadelphia. Investigators worked the case for decades. His identity remained unknown for 65 years. In 2019, DNA technology finally identified him as Joseph Augustus Sorelli, but his killer, and how he came to be in that box, remain unknown. Number 3. The Zodiac Killer. Between 1968 and 1969, a serial killer terrorized Northern California. He called himself the Zodiac. He mailed taunting letters and encrypted ciphers to newspapers, daring police to catch him. One cipher went unsolved for 51 years before a code breaker cracked it in 2020. It read, "I hope you are having lots of fun trying to catch me." The Zodiac claimed to have killed 37 people. Only 5 confirmed victims were found. More than 2,500 suspects were investigated. None were ever conclusively identified. Then he simply stopped, no arrest, no confession, no closure. The Zodiac Killer was never caught. He may still be alive today. Number 2. D.B. Cooper. On November 24, 1971, a man calling himself Dan Cooper boarded a Northwest Orient flight from Portland to Seattle. He passed a note to a flight attendant stating he had a bomb and demanding $200,000 and 4 parachutes. The airline complied. He released the passengers, ordered the crew to fly toward Mexico, and somewhere over the dense forests of Washington state, he strapped on a parachute and jumped into the dark. He was never seen again. In 1980, a small bundle of the ransom bills was found on a riverbank, deteriorated but genuine. No other trace of D.B. Cooper was ever found. He remains the only unsolved case of air piracy in American aviation history. Number 1. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 took off from Kuala Lumpur with 239 people on board. 40 minutes into the flight, all communication went dark. The transponder was switched off. The plane made an unexplained turn west over the ocean and was tracked by military radar for a further hour before disappearing entirely. The most extensive aviation search in history found almost nothing. Years later, a wing component washed ashore on a remote island, confirmed as MH370. The main wreckage has never been located. No confirmed cause has ever been established. 239 people vanished without explanation on a routine commercial flight in the age of GPS and satellite tracking. MH370 is the greatest aviation mystery of the modern era. Those are the top 10 unsolved mysteries of all time. Which one do you find the most disturbing? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more true crime and mystery content, hit subscribe. We post new videos every week.